the first thing which came to my mind is sustainable manufacturing. And I want you to be part of this complete, I would say, just not presentation, but let's call it as a discussion. Yeah, we will try to put it in that particular fashion. So why sustainable manufacturing? So just to reflect, you people must be hearing different industrial revolutions. We talk about industry 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, 4.0. Yeah, you people are familiar with these terminologies or not yet? Familiar, right? So every industrial revolution made humans' life more easy, more better. Yeah. So it was all revolution added some value to our life, quality of life. It was becoming better and better with every revolution. But the the worst part, when our quality of life was improving, it also impacted the natural resources. And when I say natural resources, because the greed of human was such that in order to, in this complete revolution, the industries played a major role in exploiting the natural resources maximum. And when this happens, so we are today experiencing all the challenges which has come because of this exploitation of the natural resources. Now, this is something, as a father, when I look at you people, my kids are more or less of the same age. So I also get the feeling as a parent, what is that my kids, I want to give the future to them. Yeah, so that is something which is very much important, because we like it or not, there is only one earth. Yeah, at least to the best of our knowledge. If there is anything else not yet discovered, yeah, it could be there but not yet discovered. Since it is not discovered, so let's go with only one earth, and this is the earth which we are going to stay. And as I said, as a father, I want my kids, the future generation, to stay here. And if that is so critical, then we have to also make sure that we are using our natural resources as judiciously as we can. So I was talking about industrial revolution. Industrial revolution, I completed my engineering when industrial revolution 3.0 was getting shaped. Yeah, so that was the time when I joined, and I was super excited to be part of that journey. I also did lot of things during that period. Yeah, so that was something which was exciting to me. And now when I am close to end of my professional career, I see industry 4.0. Yeah, but this industry 4.0 is something I see with some ray of hope. And what is that ray of hope? Because this is the revolution which I say, this is my interpretation of it. Not everybody will accept it. That this is a revolution which is helping us, it's going to help us to improve the operational efficiency to the highest possible level. How we do it? For that, today I am going to share few stories with you people. Yeah, these stories are something which will help you to understand how we look at a problem, how we try to solve the problem, and when we are solving that problem, how it is going to impact the sustainability. So that's what I will be trying to do it in my presentation. I will try to keep it as crisp as I can. Yeah. So Ajay, you will have to guide me if at all sometime if it is going, I would say, to the other direction. Okay. So I thought that before I start, it will be good to show one TED talk. It's, I think, 8-9 minutes TED talk if I have checked the timeline correctly. This TED talk is from Cedric Nike, who is our Siemens AG board member. Yeah, I have found it very interesting. In fact, this TED talk, when I saw it for the first time, it really motivated me and changed my approach to a large extent. So since I am highly fascinated with this, I just thought, let me start with this, and we'll also discuss on this particular topic.
If I listen to all of this, my question is, are we too late? I'm half German and I hate being late, to be very honest. So it's something which gets me sort of all wound up. But the reality is, if we look at that we're running out of time, we have real issues reaching the 1.5 degrees of Paris. So that's one issue. But we're not only running out of time, we also are running out of resources. So 3 weeks from now, 3 weeks, on the 2nd of August, we will reach the World Overshoot Day, meaning we will have used up all of the replenishable resources of this planet. So that's not good. These are real problems. Now, I'm an engineer, and we engineers love to solve problems. That's what we do. But the reality is if we go to the real world, we will not be able to solve those problems doing everything in the real world as we've done it before. Now, a lot of us, including my kids and myself, and a third of the world population, escape into digital worlds. There are 3 billion gamers out there, right? We lose time. But what if? What if I would tell you that we could use the digital world to cheat time in the real world and to make things better and faster with less resources? You would tell me, well, how does it work, Cedric? And I would tell you the following. Now, in the physical world, the laws of physics apply, right? I'm an industry, so what do? We dig up the earth, we get stuff out, we ship it around the world, we melt it, we assemble it, and then we try if it works, and then we try again if it works. If not, we dig out more stuff. We basically are having a try and error sort of approach. Lots of time, lots of resources are being used. It took us more than 100 years to build the combustion engine car. Now, in the digital world, it's a bit different. We could have a digital playground. We can learn things without being bound by the laws of physics. We can replicate the complete real world and start experimenting it. And the one thing we can is we will not learn 1 times faster, not 10 times faster. We will learn 1,000,000 times faster, even more. We're only limited by how much compute power we throw at a problem. So the thing we have is this, how do we make it real? So how do we cheat time to do more with less? We're using all too much fossil fuels. We're not using enough renewables. And we all know that batteries is the answer to be able to help us sort of store and distribute this renewable energy. Now, the problem with batteries is that there's a lot of investment going into batteries manufacturing at the moment. Since 2019, $300 billion are being put into batteries. 200 gigafactories are being built because we need to build 10 billion batteries per year in 2030. And just to give you an overview, a gigafactory, basically you take 2 Eiffel Towers, put them next to each other. That's the size of a gigafactory, which is out there. Eiffel Tower, I'm half French, so that's when I want to say something is really big, I take a couple of Eiffel Towers. So 2 Eiffel Towers next to each other. Now imagine 200 of those gigafactories which are being built. They need to build the right batteries, they need to do this in the right way, and they need to recycle them. Now, how can we apply this technology? Very simple. First thing we will do is we will, in this, let's call it industrial metaverse, build the perfect battery. We will experiment with this chemistry, with how it needs to be built, and we will solve the problems we have. One problem is, I don't know if any of you came with an EV here, you probably didn't like your charging time. So I brought a little example for you. So let me share this example. So this is basically a module which goes into a pack. It's actually a car battery. If we're capable of cooling this car battery 30% faster or better, you can charge your cars twice as fast. So we could actually save time with less resources. And all of this simulation can be done not in years, it can be done in weeks without building a single battery. So that's the first thing. The second thing is actually building batteries the traditional way uses a lot of energy, lots of water, lots of resources, and produces lots of scrap. That's not good. If you go to a traditional, making a battery is like making a cake. I'm sorry for all of the battery experts in the room, but it's baking a cake. So basically what you do is you take a lot of ingredients, you mix them up. In the factory, you have somebody listening to the sound. Yep, it's about right. If it's true, you put it onto an aluminum foil, which gets folded, which gets put in a casing, dried out. The problem is that if the person listened to it the wrong way, you can throw away 5 days, 7 days of battery production. And this is in a gigafactory is a really bad thing. So what do? That's my second example. We build these gigafactories completely in the metaverse, in the digital world first. And we simulate. We simulate how we do actually the chemistry. How does it flow? Can we get the information? We don't need to listen to it. How do we optimize the different steps? This is a gigafactory, for example, which is going to be built. So we build this gigafactory in the metaverse first to make sure that it produces it in the right way. And once we have the real factory, the metaverse factory runs in parallel and learns faster than the real world to learn from it. So we dream up a better battery, we make a better battery, and then the last one, we have to recycle the battery, we have to reuse it. So I'm hoping that all of you are collecting your batteries to bring them back in Germany to the supermarket for recycling, right? The reality, if you have a bag of 20 batteries, if it's lithium-ion, only one will be recycled. 19 will be thrown away. Only 5% of all batteries are actually being recycled at the moment. And what we can do if we have a digital twin on building this battery, or designing the battery, building the battery, is we can have a digital twin with each battery saying, that's me, this is how I've been built, this is my components, this is how you can repair me, this is how I can be sort of disassembled, and you can automate it. So we can actually take 95% or plus of the battery back into the process. Now, this battery example is just to give you a view on how we can design, how we can sort of build, and how we can reuse it in a better way. Now, the problem is I gave that speech to my kids, and my kids basically said, look, Dad, we're computer scientists. This has been done for the last 40 years. What's new about it? So I'm like, okay, what's new is that we are now throwing huge amount of cloud computing and AI to it, so every industry can use this capability. And I'll give you 3 examples. First one, air travel. 3 to 4% of worldwide CO2. We're working with small startups which are building completely electrical planes, completely in the metaverse first to build them right. Second one, so we build better travel. We can use it for better food, right? 25% of all CO2 is being used in agriculture. So this is an example I brought with you. We can build gigafactories for food. These are vertical farms, completely automated. These farms use 100% renewables. They use 95% less water, 0 pesticides, right? And it tastes actually quite good. And it's completely automated. And you say, what does it have to do with a digital twin? We have a twin of each plant, which means we can make every day a perfect day for these plants. It's pretty good. Now, the last example, it's going to be shocking to you, but you should think about it. You're spending 90% of your living time in buildings. 9-0. In buildings which have been badly designed, badly built, and badly run. You heat it when it shouldn't be heated, you cool it when it shouldn't be cooled, you leave the lights on. So it's a huge waste of resources. 30% of all energy goes into buildings. So we can use those tools to design houses better, to simulate what needs to be done, to build them in a better way so they don't have to be changed multiple times, and to run them. But being here in Detroit, we can also do it for complete parts of the city, which is my last example. This is a part, I come from Berlin. This is an old industrial part of this town, which we are going to rebuild completely. And what we decided is we're going to rebuild it first in the metaverse. Because we want to optimize where does the excess heat goes? Where's the excess cooling going? What happens if the rain falls? How can we keep it? What is the biosphere looking, or what is the biodiversity? Can we make it wheelchair accessible? So we optimize it. So once we build this part of Berlin, it's going to be really sort of optimized, and we will not have made mistakes. We're getting platinum LEED certification before this thing is even being built. So why am I sharing this with you? I told you as a German, I hate being late, right? But the reality, a lot of the industries you're working in are late to do their contribution to make sure that we are reaching the Paris Accords. So there's tools which enable us to cheat time and to do more with less. We should use those tools. So my ask of all of you is, let's use those tools, make it a better world, and have an impact. Thank you.
Okay, so as I said, this video truly inspired me from a different angle. See, you can see normally, probably at your age, we were not having such options available, so we were playing more of the field games. But you now know so many video games, and they look so real, right? And this is exactly more or less the same thing. We do everything in the digital world before we make something real. That is what is the digital twin is all about, and how this digital twin can help to optimize our resources. That's the story which he talked about. And what I'm going to do is that whatever you have seen, it was coming from a very developed country, what's happening over there. But I just thought, let's go maybe not even 10 kilometers away from this campus. We have our factory in Goa over here. And I'm going to share few stories. These stories are just to inspire you, to share with you how you look at a problem, how you use that problem statement to solve the problem, and when you solve the problem, what is its impact. Yeah, because this is what probably at some point of time when you complete your engineering, you will have to do the same thing. Yeah, you will have to look at the problem what is faced in the industry. By the way, I can tell you, I am having a very good experience of your PS1 and PS2 programs. Yeah, you people are aware of this PS1, PS2 program. So I had few I would say students who did this program in my factory, and I must say they showed the same kind of attitude which I was looking at. They looked into the problem and they said, "Sir, why are we doing it in this fashion? Can we do it in a different way?" And that different way could really solve the problem. But the point what I want to make is, what I am able to see, maybe you will be able to see it in a totally different way, because we are now tuned to way of looking at the things in the same way. Moment you see it, you will bring a different energy, different type of thinking, and that is how we will look at the problem. What is not a problem for me today, you will look at it as a problem, and when you start your ingenuity to solve the problem, that is how we can make the earth more livable, because sustainability is also about all improving operational efficiency, using less to produce more. Yeah, so this is what we will be I'll be talking about. I will not take all the examples because otherwise you may not be fully engaged. Yeah, so this is the factory which we have. So it's a fully electronic I would say factory which we started in 2012, and this factory is producing products which are used for protection and automation. Yeah, so I will first give you some key facts about the factory. So we are having a complete ecosystem, which means we are having a PLM, people who are thinking about what kind of product we should have. We are having close to 125 R&D engineers, hardware development. So they are designing the product for the global market. And once we develop the product, we are having a state-of-the-art manufacturing facility, as you can see, so which produces these products, and we also have customer service, Power Academy to train the customer. So this is a complete ecosystem what we have in Goa. And the kind of products, the innovation what we do in this location, if I average it out for the period of time since the inception of factory, we are developing approximately 2 products every month. Yeah, so that kind of a new products which we are developing, and all these products are used for the global business. Yeah, so we are looking at the problems which are there globally and trying to find a solution here. We are doing almost 60% of business what I do is for export market. So India is a really big business for us, and whatever we are doing it with a great sense of responsibility, ensuring that we are using minimum resources to produce these. And I can tell you, we had a target to for decarbonization on scope 2. We have reached our target. Yeah, we are having the Goa's largest captive solar power generation in our campus. Just not that, we are already, I would say, we have zero landfill, so nothing goes to Mother Earth. We are not abusing it, and also zero liquid discharge. So these are the targets which we had taken, and we achieved it 6 years ahead of the timeline which we have set for ourselves. So that is what we actually do. So this was just to tell you something about my factory and what made me to think about different solutions. So when, as you know, as I was sharing that we were growing, we were introducing new products. So it also means we were growing very fast. Yeah. And when we are growing is sometimes good, but it also comes with some complexities. So when you are having a very fast growth, you suddenly realize, oh my God, we don't have sufficient capacities. We need additional hall. We need more people, more machines, everything more. So that was a time when we were only looking for more. And when we were looking at that time, we decided, let's look how others are performing, particularly in the Siemens network. We looked into all the other factories which are lighthouse factories. Yeah. And then we decided that instead of only doing more, can we unlock the total potential what we have? Yeah. And this is what we started looking at. And I will share what is that we realized. So we hired our own internal consultants agency. We said that, guys, you please help us in doing the assessment. And you may not really fully understand what I am going to tell, but it will be my request. If you try to understand in the right perspective, when you complete your engineering, believe me, this is what will help you in a big way. Yeah. Try to absorb as much you can. So we looked into all the functions, that what is that function doing, how we are doing it, and we also did the assessment of the complete factory. The digital maturity assessment, we mapped all the processes, and that time what we realized, our IT architecture was super crazy. Now why it became super crazy? I gave an example of one of the student from BITS only. So when he came, what he did? He said that, oh, you are doing it in this fashion, can I find solution? And he found some solution. Likewise, we also had lot of employees who are quite innovative and they were finding solution. So all these solutions put together had made our IT architecture so crazy. And then it required that we look into this in a different way. Yeah. And it was so bad. It was like many people from different nationalities sitting together, yeah, speaking all different languages, but they are not able to understand. Yeah. So when that happens, it becomes the biggest problem, because for our industry 4.0, for everything, you need to have common language. Yeah. You cannot have different languages which people cannot, or other system cannot talk to each other. So this was our topic, which we had to fix it. So we looked into everything. We prepared our roadmap, and then we said that now we need to really look into this direction, and these are the solutions we had to implement. So we prepared our roadmap, and the first thing which we had to do was to connect all our assets to cloud. Yeah, all our machines, we started connecting to cloud, and we connected all our assets. So this is the line which we are having. We started looking into the data, what's happening inside these machines, yeah, how we are utilizing it. And when we started doing that, we also realized that it's a crazy thing. Yeah, why I'm calling it crazy? Because the utilization, what we thought is a very good utilization, was not the real situation. Yeah, and that transparency was something which really provoked us to look beyond. By and large, even if you do Google something, you will also come to know the process of digital transformation. It comes with multiple steps. So connection is the first step. Connecting your assets to cloud is the first step. But once we connect, that time afterwards you need to see what's happening in those machines, how we are using those assets. So that's a visualization. Generally, people stop over here. They say, okay, now I'm able to see what's happening, so I'm now digital. But that's just a beginning. And then we have to get into understand the data, correlate, yeah, understand what's happening over there. After correlating, then if you have understood it correctly, then you can also predict. If you are able to predict, then you can also automate. So these are the steps which we realized we have to follow, which means it is not only the assets, or rather it is not only the digitalization, adaptation of technology, but it is also change of the mindset. And this change of the mindset was the biggest challenge for us, that how do we implement this digitalization. And this is where people, youngsters like you, will make the maximum impact, because you can adopt the technology the best way. Yeah. So I will now just take one or two examples, yeah, and then maybe we can also get into the Q&A session. So this is a tester which we are having. Yeah. In this tester, this is a very costly tester, and when we were doing the testing, we thought that this is also bottleneck workplace. We thought that we are using it to the best possible capacity, 24/6. Everything was okay, but when we started looking into the data, we realized that with every shift, with every person, we were getting a different output. Yeah. And that data, when we did the further detail analysis, I don't know whether is this video visible to you people? You are able to see it, right? So here this tester, when you are putting the board, that time you have to do the alignment. It has to be a precise placement. And this precise placement by hand, when you try to do it, every time you will take some different time. And when we studied that, we realized that, oh my God, if it is so, that's why every person is taking different time. And also his day starts maybe with a good alignment. By the end of the day, speed is different. So how do we solve this problem? So we had put a cobot. So the cobot, what you see over there, that cobot did that job. So we have not done some blind automation. It was there with a purpose. And with the cobot, we could place the board exactly at that same location. With this, we could improve our productivity substantially by almost 20%. And the good part is, last year we were to invest almost 30 million Indian rupees, which we avoided. Yeah, and we could avoid it because we could improve the productivity. Now look at this subject from the sustainability point of view. You are not adding asset, you are not adding more, you are not consuming more power, but with the available resources, you are able to produce more. Yeah, that is what I am calling it as a sustainable manufacturing. I will skip few examples. I will directly go to the digital twin. So the video which you saw, it was of a digital twin which Cedric Nike was talking about, and this is what we also implemented. So this is a product. It's called a Ciprotec 5. It's a protection relay. It's one of the finest protection relay made in the world. Yeah. Presently, it is made in only Berlin. So we are having a factory over there where fully automatic factory, it produces this product. And we had to localize this because Indian business required that we need a local manufacturing. So to localize this, the challenge was, there we are having fully automatic line, but here we don't have this volumes, we can justify fully automatic line. So we had to build our line ourselves, a manual line. Now the example, that TED talk, which if you have understood it, it said that before you build, can you put it in a digital world and see how it is working? So Siemens is having its own product, and using our own digital twin, we simulated the complete production line. Traditional method is you do the pipe joint connection, you use it, you check it, then some people will come, they will experiment and they will see whether it's working or not working, and then afterwards they will say, oh, these changes we have to do it. So we use lot of natural resources to make this particular line, but with our digital twin, we simulated everything in the digital world. We also found out what kind of problems we may face when we implement it. Those problems were fixed before we put the line, and the benefit which we got was we could complete the project 3 months ahead of the schedule, 12% reduction in the project cost, and just not that, this line is producing 0 manufacturing defects. Yeah. So this was possible because we could simulate everything in the digital world before we could put in the actual use. So these are the benefits, and this is what I call it as a sustainable manufacturing. And here I want to share something with you, all the benefits which we got or all the improvements which we are doing. Just in last financial year, FY24, we could reduce 3% energy consumption, whereas factory grew by 9%. So if at all I put it in the power consumed per device, yeah, we could reduce the power consumed by almost 20%. We had done our baselining in 2021, actual power consumption. With respect to that, we could reduce power by almost 20%. Yeah. So which means while we are growing, our power consumption is actually coming down, which means we are ensuring that natural resources are used the least while we are producing. That's what is the responsible manufacturing which I talk about, and that is for me is a sustainable manufacturing. Yeah. Okay, so that's something which I wanted to talk about, and we just not there. We are also using our experiences, how we can take it to the bigger ecosystem of manufacturing, which means how we can take it to our suppliers also. So we want to make sure that with our suppliers, although we are physically separate, but how we can connect digitally and maximize the benefit which we have got. Well, that was my story on sustainable manufacturing.